Madge, a big challenge tomorrow night against the Melbourne Storm, but even bigger with you having to stand down Gamut because of an off-field incident.
Yeah, there's things that go on in clubs. We're just living by the standards and the expectations of each other, and that's just part of the journey. Obviously, the challenge ahead is actually a great one for us. You're leading into a final series. It sharpens you up, games like this, and you need to be. It's the best time of the year. So I think for us, it's just honing in on what we've been talking about, and it's going and doing it now for 80 minutes.
How disappointed were you?
So what exactly happened, Madge, with Gammon, and what are the reasons for his demotion?
I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to keep that in-house, and obviously it's been out there and about. So the boys from day one when I first walked in talked about who we want to be and our culture and the expectations, and that's basically what we're living by. That's part of what grows great teams. You've got to live by them, and every now and then one of our own might go a bit sideways, and he's got to get back on track and put his head down and work and build the things that we've been doing, because there's a lot of good things that are going on around the club, and everyone knows that, and the players do. So we all agreed upon what needs to happen and moving forward. So big game.
Are you disappointed, that he turned up to training with such an important game on the line for a top 4 position under the influence of alcohol when it was only a 4-day turnaround? As a coach, you must be frustrated.
It's obviously disappointing. I'm not going to go away from that. That's but I've been on the journey with all these players, and he's made a mistake, and he understands that, and you pay a price, I suppose, in what we need to go through. But the focus for us is really about this game. We've worked really hard right throughout the season. It's been a journey. Learned plenty about each other, and we've had a few hurdles along the way, and this is no different. But it's about making sure we turn up tomorrow ready to go. And I'm hearing it's going to be a packed crowd. Our last game, we want to get a good performance and build that into what's ahead.
What about what happened with Reece as well? I mean, the club, you don't want to be putting out statements every day of the week, especially coming into a Melbourne Storm game with this. Your top 4 spots on the line. How do you feel about that? The fact that you have to do this coming into a game like this.
I speak to the players about that, and we are all different. That's a different one. So I guess we look at things differently at times, so they're things that we talk about internally. I'll keep those conversations internal, and we need to. And he's very passionate about what we're doing, and he just needs to make sure that he adjusts to the expectations, and he's no different. We're all in this together, working towards trying to build a great club, and that's ultimately what I sort of set out to when we first got here. It is a great club, and the support is incredible. It's probably bigger than I expected. With the club itself, and it's unreal. I mean, we're a club that gets over 40,000 fans to a game. It has big support, so whatever we do is magnifying, and obviously he understands that part of who he is as a Broncos player, and needs to adjust to the various things that we're moving towards.
How did you see the video, Madge, the Reece tape? What was your take on it?
Unusual. It's as I said, we're all different, and the adjustments of society in this day and age is probably a little bit different than what I've grown up in. But that one's obviously been spoken about, and we've got to move on to the game now. It's that gets talked about. He understands the influence that he has, and one thing I think players of his calibre know how great the influence can be, and how it can sometimes reflect the wrong thing. So,
do you think he understands, Madge? He got a video 2 months ago where some bloke punched him in the head, and he puts it up. And I understand he's a young bloke, but he's now got his own publicity officer that he employs externally. Yeah. So what are they doing? Mean, because if he understood, he wouldn't have posted it again, and he's done another one. So.
Yeah, well, I can't argue that, Dobbo. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to go through experiences, and that's an experience, I guess. The club itself had to feel they had to do something with, and he needs to adjust with that. That's what we're moving towards. We have a big influence on our community, and that's and he's. And look, I spoke to him around the great influence that he can have as well. So just focusing on that, but also too, and we've got a big game that we've got a big opportunity in front of us. They're playing a game, our last game of the season at home, packed crowd. That's the important part of what needs to be focused on, and that's what I'm going to talk about.
Just at Shibasaki, do you have any rules on players who are allowed to drink between games, or is there a certain period of game before a game not allowed.
Yeah, they know what they need to do, and
What about-
they've spoken about it. Oh, I don't keep that in-house. That's stuff internal. There's the reasons why he's going through what he's going through. But those rules are very clear. If you call them rules, they're expectations. I mean, our culture is about, we've got an opportunity to do something pretty amazing. So it's pretty easy to move towards what's expected. So those things sometimes are really more about the expectation of each other.
I mean, if you talk about
I know he's out there drunk, got absolutely flogged.
I mean, imagine when you talk about culture, is that this club hasn't won a comp for 20 years. I mean, you've still got a long way to go, haven't you, as a club?
Yeah. Well, Pete, every day is another day where you can move towards, what we talk about great clubs are, and it's what happens internally. And you've got to remember, we haven't done anything yet. We literally haven't done anything. And I guess you get talked up here, and the players understand that. When you look at, I guess, the past history, and players have played in multiple grand finals. Well, the opportunity of when you're at a club, you can actually build that, and it's the everyday stuff that matters. And I think that's something there that we've got to keep taking stock on. It's rugby league's big up here, but also too, we have, as I said, we haven't done anything yet. So it's about tomorrow night.
It was a big call to do it before such a big game. There's this year's line in the sand for the team.
Well, to be honest, I don't think it is a big call. It's the expectation of what's going on, and culture's everything. You've got to live by what you're building and the expectations of each other. So as much as it was a call, it was just a call to me that we've got players there that are working in the background to do the job. So that's what's expected tomorrow.
Tomorrow night, you talk about tomorrow night, the fans.
Yeah.
There could be 50,000 there tomorrow night. If Brisbane are to win, they're going to need the support, and it's a members round as well, so really important.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I'll go out to the fans. Come with us. I mean, that's the big part of what this time of year is. The sun's out. It's moving into the finals. It's the best time of the year. The fans have been following every moment that's been going on week in, week out, the journey, and they've gone on the journey. So they play a big part in what we're going to do. Coming to the game tomorrow, plenty of noise, because I know our players, they react off that. I think I do remember I was actually sitting in the coach's box, and we were down against the Dolphins. And I'll never forget, the crowd got going, and you could actually feel the momentum in the whole stadium change. So, that's an example of the importance of having your fans behind you. And I just reach out to them and come with us and come and enjoy what we're going through at the moment, because they're a major part, and we talk about it internally. I'm happy to say that we talk about that we are fortunate to have a great fan base that turn up to the games, and there's nothing better when you've got a packed house at Suncorp.
How's Rene going?
So let the lady ask.
How did the other players react when you stood to the something?
Yeah, good question. Obviously, they reacted probably the same as yourself. We got together and made our decisions about what's expected, and they're driving a lot of the standards around the place, which they're driving all of them really. So they've shifted into what's expected, and that's what we're doing moving forward. Thanks.
What about just a quick one? Saw Ezra seem to be doing quite well, and Cobbo.
Yeah, they're going well. Pete, probably 3 or 4 weeks ago, I wasn't quite sure, but they are training well. So, with what's in front of us, and we keep performing, well, there's no reasons why they won't be alive.
What about Reno? How's he looking? Is he right for the first final?
I don't know yet. I'll have to wait and see. I mean, he obviously pushed pretty hard last week, and you just got to be really careful when you've got a hamstring. So, I mean, we felt that he was probably going to be right for this week, but again, we'll just reassess it next week.
That'd be huge, mate.
Do you know if he drove to training, and were you concerned about that at all?
No, he didn't. I know that he didn't drive.
Oh, you know, have you spoken to him about, I guess, the stance that are expected in terms of...
Look, I probably feel that I've spoken enough about that. We're all about tomorrow. I can stand here and talk about those things, but for us now is that things happen, and the players have got a hold of it, and they're moving forward into what's expected moving forward. And as I said, we've got a big game.
Are you going for a sort of a supportive, gentle approach with boys in terms of that culture and changing culture, or are you putting down a bit more of a firm foot?
I've spoken about all this continually as I've stood up here, and moving forward, we're going to chase what we're doing tomorrow.
That'll do. Thanks, guys.